question and the concern that I have is that I was at the GOP meeting at Thursdays too when you announced your candidacy. And the question I asked you there was, I had noticed in the Herald that you had been quoted as saying you agreed with Kerwood's position on lots of things, that you just thought you had a better style and would come in. So I specifically asked that question because it was important to me as to whether or not there were any issues that you disagreed with versus Kerwood. And you said no. Then we go to the Glen Rock Baptist Church meeting, which was held at Marty Taylor, who is the landfill proponent at church, and the question gets asked about the CSX, which you clearly had a different opinion of. I want to know why, how you explain that, and is there any other surprises in that respect?
Pastor White. Sure. You know, exactly what the question was. You made a lot of comments as opposed to a question. What is your core of your question, Christy?
My question is, when am I going to know you're telling the truth?
Well, let me ask you this. When have I not told you the truth?
At the GOP meeting where you announced your candidacy, you said there were no issues that you disagreed with.
I said I agree. I think my exact comments were I agreed with Mr. Chappell on a lot of the decisions he had made.
I said, do you have any issues? And you said none. I have none. And yet we go to the very next debate and you changed and have a very different opinion on CSX. The debate being at the landfill operator's church. So I want to know, are there any other issues that you disagree with that Kerwood has taken? Because that's what I'd like to know.
Well, first of all, and you keep talking about the landfill operator, I mean, there's only about 2 facilities on that side of town where we could even hold a GOP debate. That debate was Mr. Glenn McCall, who was the GOP chairman, would contacted Gene Flack, who was the pastor of that church. So, well, I'd like to see proof of that. But as far as your question about when somebody's telling the truth, at a GOP debate, I think my comment was, that was in March. I was just getting a campaign going, trying to understand the issues, and I do agree with Mr. Chappell on a lot of the things that he's done over time. We're both very conservative people, and if that's the case, then there's not a lot of differences. You know, since that time, obviously CSX, and again, I mean, I know what the campaign's trying to do. It's trying to paint me as I'm trying to bring CSX back, and folks, I can tell you, I've done more research on CSX trying to figure out the facts than anybody. And the thing is, CSX isn't coming back. They're doing a $20 million expansion. And I've got the guy's number. Y'all can call him and ask the same thing. I hope the press will call him and ask him. But it's not a campaign issue. All I want to do, folks, everybody keeps forgetting that we've got an economy that's in the tank, and we've got a county that's got a lot of good advantages. We've got major interstate running through. We've got a good airport, but we're just not growing businesses like that we should. And they all shouldn't go down Highway 21. We've got a big county. You know, I think it was talked about earlier. We need to make sure that we've got places for businesses to go. You know, you talked about other changes. I mean, I'll give you another one that I've now learned that, and some of these things have happened since then. You know, the UDO, or the Uniform Development Ordinance that was talked about a little bit ago. You know, the council acts like they're surprised of what was in the UDO. I mean, I'm opposed to what was in the UDO too. Anytime you get a 900-page document, 51 pages of definitions in the front of it, that's something that's probably not going to be very fair to property rights owners or property owners and property rights people. And I certainly don't want the government telling me any more than they have to what I can do with my property. But the whole problem with that process was started 3 years ago. When Mr. Chappell was on the council, they voted to start the UDO process. There was a consultant hired. You know, we keep talking about the consultant that came in from California, I think he was. Well, they just didn't show up overnight. That process started along the way. So I'm not sure how you can look at that process and manage that process, and then all of a sudden 3 years down the road, you don't like what's in it. I mean, either you didn't know what was going on and you just found out and were surprised, or you knew what was going on and you changed your mind for some reason. But either one of those 2 cases isn't good.
Kerwood, Chappell, would you like to make any comments about that?